Hey there, Starshine here. Glad you clicked on the video. Kabira and I are just about to start a very exciting 1 versus 1 game on a really tough board. Let's check this out. Alright, so as you can see, we got a really interesting board, as the wheat on the board is super low. There is only one good wheat tile with the 8 wheat on the top right. Also, there is way more wood than brick on the board, which makes a balance in this game really hard. I was the first one to place a settlement and I took the 5-8-10 with the double ore. Thinking back, I'm not sure if that is the right decision, but otherwise, if I don't take it, I left Kabira a super strong spot, which he can pair super well with other spots on the board. Kabira then of course takes the 8 wheat, to prevent me to getting the paired 8s, which is of course a super smart move. He pairs it with the 4-5-11, which gives him a lot of wheat and also a little bit of ore. He also has the paired 4s, which is always good. This put me in a super hard position there. I was of course looking at the 4-9-11 to pick for my second spot, because it gives me all 5 resources and I can also expand to the 3-6-11 to balance my wheat production a bit. From the available wheat spots, the 4-6-11 is definitely the strongest one, as it is still 10 points of production, while it gives me a little bit of wheat. However, I rely on an 11, which is of course not good. Therefore, I decided to take the 3-4-6. Thinking back, this is a very big mistake though. I should definitely take the 4-6-11 and go for the sheep port to balance my production with the ports. Of course, I will have a hard time to get to the sheep port, but it is still a better setup than playing without wheat, I think. So all in all, from my perspective, Kabira has a way better setup than me. The only resource he really lacks at the start is sheep, and he is about to build to the 6 sheep, which means he gets all 5 resources when he builds there. In the north of the map he also has the wheat port available with the 8-10, which is also a great spot in addition for him. Like in all 1 versus 1 games, we of course roll and pass very much at the beginning of the game, as we just lack a lot of resources and need some resource income first. With the many 6s at the start, I was super lucky. Was able to 4-4-1 my wood for a wheat. Luckily, also no 4s were rolled at all, which of course makes it hard for me to expand, but at least also Kabira can't expand. Also Kabira does something super similar. He 4-4-1s his wheat for his sheep already, because he will need that sheep at some point anyway. After that, I had to decide which spot should be my first expansion spot, and I was pretty sure it should be probably 9-10. Although I need 2 roads to get there, it gives me a lot of brick, which I really need to pair with my wood. I think the spot is also essential that I got longest road in this game. I could also of course take the ore port, because I really need a trading option for wheat. With a 6 and a 7 I unfortunately had to discard all of my wood, because I was on 8 cards. Sadly, I can also not even block Kabira, because he builds the city which he gets from the 5 ore just 1 turn after that. With many 6s again, I was already again on 8 cards. I decided to pass my turn there, which is probably a mistake, considering that I really don't want to get a point at the moment anyway. I probably should have bought a death card. With 5 and 8, I get 2 more ore, which makes it less painful to 4-4-1 my ore for a wheat. After another useless 7, we finally roll the first active 7 in this game. I decided to block the 4 wood, just because I think he really needs to get to the 6 sheep. With the 4 wood being blocked, it would also be not too bad if we roll a 4 now, because he only gets the brick, which he can't use without wood anyway. I won't complain with another 2 7s being rolled, which basically means I get 3 cards from Kabira. With another 5, Kabira can place another city down there, which puts him on 4 points already. The next 7 is also not that great either, because I have to discard again, which is of course super bad. I also decided to play an aggressive knight a couple turns after that, because I think if we roll a 4, I am really screwed. I also pick up a wheat, which is of course a super great card for me. It allows me to upgrade one of my settlements to a city. I decided to take the 5-8-10, just because I will get to the ore port at some point in the game, and therefore ore is of course very valuable, considering that I have to port something for wheat. Also Kabira decides to take a risk, with passing on 8 cards in his hand. With 10 cards in his hand, he then finally decides that he has to do something. And of course, he ports for his sheep, as he still needs that for the settlement. With many 6s again, I was also again able to 4-4-1 my wood for the wheat, and build another city up, which means I have catched up with Kabira. But also Kabira is of course making progress. He built a road towards the 3611 to get finally to the sheep. Unfortunately, I also had to unblock the 4 wood because I rolled another 7. It is even more unfortunate that we rolled a 4 immediately afterwards. This puts Kabira of course in a super strong position because he now is able to build on the 3611. Of course, the 4 also helps me because I was also now able to build to the 910. But with Kabira having sheep now, he can also now afford to buy some death cards without wasting an expensive sheep. He picks up a knight and then of course blocks me immediately. He blocks me on the 10 sheep, which is a solid choice I think, considering that I have a 3-for-1 port, and the 10 therefore gives me 1 wheat. 6 keeps rolling luckily, which gives me in combination with my 3-for-1 now even more wheat. With another 6 I got 2 options now. I could either buy a death card or I can also upgrade the 910. I decided to buy a death card just because I think I can't let Kabira have the largest army too. I am already a bit behind I think, so I really need some luck with the rubber. With playing a knight and putting the rubber back on the 4, I think we can finally roll the 4 again, and thankfully, thanks to a lot of luck, this is also happening. With the 10 now also being opened, I decided to build a city now. With another 4, I think I'm really also catching up with Kabira here, just because he gets super unlucky with the rubber. With another blocked 4, I also feel kinda bad for Kabira, because this is really hard. After me expanding to the 249, we roll another 4, which forces Kabira finally now also to 4-for-1 his break 4 with, so he can get rid of some of his cards. But of course, this is not really efficient. I also need to 3-for-1 the break for his sheep, but I am also able to build a settlement on the 2-for-9, which gives me the paired 9s now too. Double 8 helps me also way more than Kabira, just because I got a 3-for-1 port, while he has to 4-for-1 everything. With a sweet 10, I was able to buy another death card, which gave me the 3rd and last knight I will need for largest army. I won't also complain about another 8, which doesn't really help Kabira. With another great 10 being rolled, it starts to look really awesome I think. However, Kabira gets also to the wheat port, which is a great spot for him if we still continue rolling 8 and 11. With the many sheep in my hand from the 2 and the 10, I can again port for the wheat and place a 4th city down. Kabira then finally rolled the 7, which he needed for a long time now, to unblock his 4 wood. I still got a knight in hand though, which means the rubber is going back towards the 4 wood immediately. And unlucky for Kabira again, we of course rolled a 4. It doesn't really help me either because I 7 out on my turn, but it is of course still great to have some roads in hand, so I can get the longest road. 5 and 3 are 2 good rolls for Kabira, which also give him the chance to buy a death card. As I am really scared about him attacking largest army, I decided to buy another death card, and I got a road building, which is probably not the worst card considering I still need the longest road. With buying another death card, I got a VP, which is of course awesome as I am already on 13 points, if you count longest road. This means I only need 1 more settlement. I think the only way Kabira could stop me now is if he rolls some 4s, because then he would be able to steal longest road for the moment. But thankfully, we don't roll any 4s when they aren't blocked. With some good rolls, like another 5 and a 6, I am able to build the last settlement down and win the game. Phew! Well, that was really unexpected. I think if the game wasn't that ridiculous and the 4 didn't only roll when it was blocked, I think Kabira definitely should win this game. Also, we have to point out how many 6s we rolled, and they were really useful for me, especially at the beginning when I needed something to 4-for-1 for wheat. I hope Kabira isn't too mad about me that I won this game. I hope you also had some fun watching this video, and I hope I will see you in the next one. Have a shining day, and see ya!